Greetings, fellow wanderers. I'm Nico, a Red Company goon, guardian of the oil fields, questionable accents, and poorly made intros. Generic indie games are a dime a dozen these days, but let me tell you about one that ain't. Okay, enough accents. Let's dive into a fresh and completely original game that blends tactical combat with real-time choices, morally ambiguous narratives, and a pinch of existential guilt. It's called Arco, and it's not just a game, it's an experiment in tactical play, narrative immersion, and, well, how much regret one person can handle in a single session. So, grab your guilty spirits and let's figure out how a small team from around the globe, Poland, Mexico, and Australia, crafted one of the most innovative RPGs in recent years, and despite that, sold less than they expected despite the critics' praise. Welcome to the design of Arco. The story of Arco begins like many indie games, with an idea and a lot of experimentation. Originally envisioned as a multiplayer experience, Arco shifted gears several times. Multiplayer gave way to co-op, which eventually became a narrative-focused game. Why the change? According to lead developer Antonio Feyer Uribe, it was all about telling a story of morally gray choices and guilt, a theme they felt needed a single-player focus. The team didn't just change the narrative, they let it inspire the gameplay itself. Guilt isn't just a theme in Arco, it's woven into the mechanics, combat, and even the player's experience. It's an excellent example of how gameplay can reflect storytelling in an interactive medium. The combat in Arco is something the developers call simultaneous turn-based. It works in two phases, planning and outcome. In the planning phase, you assign actions to each of your characters, carefully considering movement, attacks, and abilities. Once you've locked in your choices, you enter the outcome phase, where both your actions and the enemies play out simultaneously. Success depends on precise planning, anticipation, and adaptability. What makes Arco truly shine is how each character introduces a unique layer to this system, offering varied gameplay styles that keep battles fresh and challenging. For example, the Archer. He excels in picking off enemies from a distance, but positioning is critical. If left exposed, they become vulnerable. The Brawler, a melee powerhouse capable of dealing significant damage up close, but requires careful timing to avoid overextending. And the Brother and Sister, a mix of healers, close range and mid-range attackers, as well as users of unique abilities to enhance or improve positioning in battle. This diversity ensures every encounter feels different, requiring you to experiment with your team composition and adapt your tactics to match the situation. The simultaneous nature of combat, coupled with the distinctiveness of each character, forces you to think several moves ahead, ensuring that every victory feels earned. This system creates a unique mix of strategy and suspense, but what makes Arco stand out is how it ties guilt into the combat. Your decisions outside of battle, like the morally ambiguous choices you make, can spawn real-time spirits that actively interfere in fights. Imagine trying to plan your moves while a manifestation of your guilt tries to ruin everything. It's an innovative mechanic that adds tension and forces players to confront their actions in a very real way. The guilt system was originally a curse mechanic, but the team felt that morality implied a clear good or bad, and that didn't fit their vision. Instead, Arco thrives in ambiguity. Your choices aren't framed as good or evil, they're personal and situational, but they have consequences. This manifests in combat through the guilt ghosts, creatures that spawn based on your past decisions. These ghosts move in real time during turn-based battle, creating a chaotic blend of strategy and reaction. It's clever, immersive, and ties the gameplay back to the story in a way that few games can manage. At its core, Arco is about exploration, decision-making, and combat. You explore a richly detailed world, engage in conversations that often let you avoid battles altogether, and fight when you need to. The simultaneous turn-based combat is quick and satisfying, with battles typically lasting only a few minutes. What makes the loop so engaging is the variety. One moment you're staggerizing your next attack, the next you're navigating complex moral dilemmas. It keeps you engaged, especially since you can often retry or respec before diving back in. That flexibility is part of what makes Arco such an enjoyable experience. When it comes to Arco's visuals, the lead artist, Franek, deserves a standing ovation. As the sole dedicated artist on the team, Franek has mastered the art of minimalism, creating pixel art that punches well above its weight class. Characters, animals, and objects are often crafted with only a handful of pixels, yet they exude life, personality, and purpose. This detailing is then contrasted with sweeping, expansive environments. Gorgeous landscapes, intricate ruins, and hauntingly atmospheric backdrops that pulled you into Arco's world. It's a bold and stunning contrast that works beautifully, emphasizing the scale of the world and the intimacy of its stories. What's even more remarkable is how Arco uses its pixel art to convey emotion. Whether it's a tense battle or a quiet moment of exploration, the art delivers storytelling and mood with incredible precision. This isn't just retro homage, it's pixel art elevated to a finer art form. So, after all this innovation, why didn't Arco sell nearly as well as the developers had hoped? Despite Arco's glowing reviews, 98% positive on Steam, and a 9 out of 10 in Edge magazine, and high praise from critics, the game's commercial performance has been a disappointment for the developers. Franek, one of the creators, described the experience as both humbling and frustrating, admitting on Twitter, "Making under minimum wage is embarrassing, even if it means you get to make games." So what went wrong? Arco dared to tread new ground, blending genres and mechanics in a way few games attempt. But in the highly volatile indie market, that ambition can come with risks. McPixel creator Sasowski pointed out that many indie developers stick to the same 3 genres, while AAA studios are remastering familiar franchises. Sasowski's advice? Make new stuff. But Franek countered with a hard truth. Making new stuff sounds like fun advice until you have to sell your game without a target audience, and you've got rent to pay. In other words, Arco's boldness, while creatively fulfilling, may have limited its appeal to a specific audience. Without a clear, established genre to market towards, Arco struggled to gain traction in an oversaturated indie scene. The team acknowledges the trade-offs. Franek reflected that as soon as you stop making new things, the work stops being creative. Still, he admits that future projects might need to balance innovation with marketability to ensure sustainability. For now, Arco stands as a testament to the risk and reward of pushing boundaries in game design, an artistic triumph that highlights the challenges of making truly original games in today's industry. In my opinion, Arco is more than just another indie game. It's an exploration of what indie developers can achieve with creativity and dedication. The real-time tactical combat, the guild system, the morally gray storytelling, it all comes together to create an experience that's both fun and thought-provoking, and it was one of my favorite games in the past year. Is it perfect? It's pretty close. And it's ambitious, innovative, and memorable. Everything you could hope for from an indie game. And honestly, hats off to the developers, because this is exactly the type of game I hope to be good enough to make one day. If you're looking for something unique, Arco is absolutely worth your time. And the developers, congratulations on creating something truly special. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Arco, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What other indie games do you want me to spotlight in the next Great Game Design series? Let me know below. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.